The last new moon of the year occurs in the sign of Capricorn on Monday, December 30th. Known as the Black Moon, it highlights the qualities of success, determination, and achievement, as well as hard work, encouraging us to look towards the future, ask important questions, and figure out what is worth setting our sights on. I am here to help you make sense of this lunation and to talk about what's in store for your sign. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. Thank you for being here. If you'd like to show your support, I would appreciate if you leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Watch more of my content. Check out my 2025 related videos. I talk about love and career. And you can also say thank you by buying me a tea, a coffee, or a Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah present, whatever your heart desires. I appreciate that as well. Before we dive in, if you're looking for personal guidance, you're curious what the year ahead is in store for you, you want me to look at your chart and analyze what's to come, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can currently save $20 on the in-person consultation, which is done over Zoom, or $40 on the recorded reading. Both of those readings include a PDF file breaking down the year to come. It is color-coded and very detailed in true Virgo fashion. And both of them also include video recording and the charts I use. So check out anastasiadoesastrology.com for that and pick up my 2025 astrology planner. It is full of insights about the transits, lunations, lunar phases. It has a lot of space to journal and set your intentions. And every monthly calendar includes positive dates for love, challenging dates, and lucky dates. It could be a great tool on your desk as you navigate the year. Pick it up. It takes about 2 weeks to print and get delivered. So the sooner you order it, the sooner it comes. And on my website, you can pick up a candle or an oil. I work with astrology in a proactive way, and I elect dates to create candles. We do not elect the time, or maybe we do, our soul might do it, to come into this world, right? We sort of are born with the qualities of the moment we were born at and the place we were born in. But you can capture the moments. You can be more selective about creating objects, right? And infusing them with the properties of that moment. I'd like to highlight my Exalted Mars candle. It is Mars in Capricorn, highly strategic, highly ambitious, really good at maximizing the system, working within structures. I always think of this placement, and just from observing friends and clients, as people who can take the most advantage of the world they live in. For example, they always know how to find deals and they know how to buy things, including property, at the best price, let's say. So if you want a little bit of that perseverance, confidence, strategy, and success, check it out. I also recommend this because we are in Mars retrograde right now. Mars is about to enter Cancer, the sign of its fall, and it will be retrograde there all the way until February 23rd. So this could help you deal with anger, irritation, bubbling up. We struggle to express anger during the retrograde time, and it can also help level out your energy levels instead of going through like swings. And if you're born with Mars retrograde, Mars in Cancer, Libra or Taurus, Mars in the 12th or 8th house, Mars in square or opposition to Saturn, this is the candle for you. Absolutely. I stand by it. So we have the new moon in Capricorn. December is an interesting month. We have 2 new moons in Capricorn and 1 full moon. Sorry, not 2 new moons in Capricorn. We have 2 new moons this month and 1 full moon. And so this last new moon of the year happens at 9 degrees 43 minutes Capricorn. So you will feel it the most, and it's most important for people with planets between 6 and 12 degrees cardinal signs, which are Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra. It is the most significant for you. It occurs at 5:26 p.m. Eastern, so adjust for your time zone. And in the new moon in Capricorn, we are looking at what is worth our time. Capricorn is the sign that is not afraid of working hard. You know how committed they are once they set their sights on something. They're willing to persevere. They're willing to keep going. You know, they're represented by the sea goat, but if you think like the goats climbing the mountain, right? Sometimes they jump off a very steep, not off, they go up a very steep mountain, right? So Capricorn is this Saturnian sign that is committed, that is dedicated, that knows how to work hard and how to play hard. So with the new moon in Capricorn, the questions we're asking are basically dedicated to what is worth our time, what is worth our energy, what is worth our dedication. The moon is making a lovely sextile to Saturn, the ruler, which suggests that there is support from Saturn, that there is not only kind of emotional maturity of Saturn, but also ability to discern from what is worth pursuing, what is not. There is patience. There is awareness that things in life take time, that they require sacrifice and compromise, and you're able to rationally think about those things and make adjustments. There is focus on strategy and achievement, and so you may notice that you are making plans, and it's actually a great time to figure out a plan, right? Capricorn is an earth sign. It likes, look at the light. If I do this, if I hide it away, I become so much more. So I'm just going to continue doing video like this, you guys. No, I'm kidding. We can deal with a little bit of light, right? But now you know that it's creating a bit of a glare. My hand is not enough. Oh, wait, no. I'll just do this. It's crazy how much more colorful everything becomes. But that's okay. The sun is setting, or no, it's actually the middle of the day. But the middle of the day might be also sun setting. So Saturn is, great time to set a list, set your intentions, come up with a step-by-step plan, focus on achievement, focus on compromising and committing to things. A lot will depend on which house Capricorn is in your chart. That's where you're most likely to see the need to commit to things. There is simultaneously a T-square between Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini, and Mercury in Sagittarius. So similar energy, I think Saturn gets in the mix between those two planets, with Mercury with this like passionate, speak the truth, Sagittarian energy, take action, a little bit of restless attitude, and Jupiter in Gemini also kind of wanting to grow and expand. And Saturn comes in and it says time and patience, no rush, do not sort of force things, keep going, and slowly and surely you will figure it out. So we are encouraged to kind of persevere, right? And to be patient as we navigate some adversity and challenges. I hope you're excited about this new moon. I'm going to break it down for all 12 signs. But as always, if you have personal questions, you'd like me to look at your chart, or you have questions about your relationship, the year coming up, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are an Aries rising, there's a new moon in your house of career, status, and reputation, ruled by Saturn in the 12th house of spirituality, mental health, and healing. And in fact, it also sextiles Saturn, so there's a supportive energy there. So the Saturn as a ruler, it also squares Jupiter in your 3rd house, and it squares Mercury in your 9th house. Does suggest that there is some type of mental health battles that you're dealing with. There might be some legal matters, some education, questions around skills, beliefs, philosophies, that you're maybe at a crossroads of some sorts, right? Like you're feeling Jupiter is in the 3rd house and you're feeling ready to grow, to start a business, to pursue a new career. And the new moon in the 10th house is very much encouraging of that, right? Like the new moon in the 10th is the time to follow your goals, set your sights on something high and mighty, new paths, new interests, new opportunities, new projects. But Saturn in the 12th suggests that you need to close something. You need to either release fears and perhaps stop standing in your own way, because sometimes in the 12th house we think of hidden enemies and we may think of other people or life circumstances, the fact that we don't have control over a lot of things in life being these culprits. But in reality, 12th house is about self-undoing. So on some level, this new moon is asking you, how are you standing in your own way? Are you being too proud to ask for help? Are you being too stubborn to reach out to your old boss? What is something that you need to kind of like, how can you get out of your own way, right? And with Mercury in the 9th, Jupiter in the 3rd, a lot of it might have to do with your mindset, with your ideas, your beliefs about things. So changing something in those areas can be very important. I can also see this new moon with Saturn in the 12th as an opportunity to change your career towards becoming a healer, towards becoming a tarot reader, an astrologer, therapist with Saturn in the 12th house. It is very much encouraging you to take ownership of your healing gifts, to bring forward your talents and to connect with things that you're maybe hiding from yourself and not expressing. So exciting opportunities might be coming for you, I think. But you have to be patient, especially due to this T-square between Saturn in the 12th, Jupiter in the 3rd, and Mercury in the 9th. You have new ideas, but first you need to complete something. Like I said, get out of your own way, come up with a strategy, figure out your plan, and it might take some time for you to get the answers you're seeking. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, you want to know what the year ahead has in store for you, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. And my year ahead reading is currently discounted. You can also pick up my Exalted Mars candle on there. This highlights your 10th house of career, so it can be especially perfect for setting and reaching professional goals. If you are a Taurus rising, there's a new moon in your 9th house with the ruler Saturn in the 11th, forming a T-square with Jupiter in the 2nd and Mercury in the 8th. The new moon in the 9th suggests that you are growing. You are dedicating yourself to writing, maybe publishing your work. Maybe you're working on publishing a novel or publishing a major project, editing a project. There might be a class you're taking or a desire to teach, to mentor, to guide others. You feel committed to it. Saturn, the ruler in the 11th, connects this to the approval of other people or a relationship with other people. The new moon in the 9th, ruled by Saturn in the 11th, might suggest that you are focusing on improving your community, and maybe you're trying to get elected into the district council or something. Or you're thinking of teaching yoga to the kids in local schools. Or you're thinking of starting maybe a shelter, a homeless shelter in your community. Something involving other people. But the T-square between Saturn in the 11th, Jupiter in the 2nd, Mercury in the 8th suggests that there might also be a little bit of ideological disagreements. There might be some heaviness and a sense of other people expecting too much of you, maybe disapproving of some ways and strategies you have. And so you are trying to figure out some kind of different way of doing things, right? So with the new moon in the 9th house, I think it's interesting too, because if you are struggling with something, if you're dealing with financial situation or, dealing with some kind of disagreement, the new moon in the 9th might also ask you, how can you change your perspective? How can you accept the fact that you are in this situation? How can you also change your attitude towards money, towards being approved by other people? How can you still pursue your goals and either adjust them to the expectations of others, or maybe if you have the freedom to not depend on others, how can you allow yourself to do things that make you happy? There might also be maybe you're signing up for school, maybe you're taking some classes, maybe you're dealing with a legal matter with a new moon in the 9th house. Traveling, relocating are all possibilities here as well. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at Anastasia.astrology.com. For the beautiful Gemini rising, there's a new moon in the 8th house ruled by Saturn in the 10th. I see this as a need to clear debts so that you can have more freedom professionally. Saturn is in your 10th. It forms a T-square with Jupiter in the 1st and Mercury in the 7th. And it's saying that in order to have freedom, to be your true authentic self, Jupiter in the 1st, you need to have tough conversations, Mercury in the 7th, and you need to commit and you need to work hard. And the new moon in the 8th is looking at your finances. It's looking at whether you have a good financial strategy, and it's saying that maybe it's time to come up with a plan, to pay off some debts, to clear some karmic dependencies, because with the new moon in the 8th, there might be some agreements, some fears that are holding you back from being your true self, right? You are ready to start a new job, but you've been working for your uncle's ice cream shop and they expect you to keep working for them, right? But you're ready for something new. So clearing debts, clearing agreements, clearing these more intangible connections with other people. Or for some, the new moon in the 8th might be a start of a new partnership. It might suggest that in order to reach that goal and to reach those heights and to make the money that you want or to reach the career that you want, you need to work with other people, right? And sometimes, especially with a T-square that the ruler of this new moon is involved in, sometimes you'd have to compromise. Sometimes you may have to compromise and share the income with somebody else, or you may have to compromise and not get 100% of control or not get things to be exactly how you want. But through a partnership with others, you can actually have access to more resources and maybe free up some time. And it's all about weighing, I think, weighing the pros and the cons here and closing old chapters and being ready to start new ones, but ultimately prioritizing more freedom in your self-expression. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, you want to know what year ahead has in store for you, book a reading at Anastasia.astrology.com. My year ahead readings are currently discounted. Information is in the description. You can also get a natal chart reading or a relationship reading. If you are a Cancer rising, there's a new moon in your 7th house ruled by Saturn in the 9th. And the new moon in the 7th is all about new beginnings in relationships and partnerships. You are seeking commitment. You want to start a new relationship. You want to move forward in an existing relationship. You want to start a business partnership. You want to sign a contract with someone, and you feel ready. And the partnership and relationship might involve travel. Maybe it's a new beginning in a romantic relationship when you are relocating together. Or it may involve education, where you're signing on with a new university to teach there, for example. It can involve being a religious or philosophical figure, someone who guides and influences other people. It can also be connected to writing and publishing, because 9th house is the place of writing and publishing as well. I can see your partner's life changing and that affecting your relationship with them. Maybe they're going through some kind of financial shift or legal shift, or they're moving and you're moving with them. There is a little bit of delays, slowdowns, because at the time of this new moon, we have a T-square between Saturn in your 9th, Jupiter in the 12th, and Mercury in the 6th. So the desire for growth, the desire for change requires time, patience, and strategy, and potentially some compromises and sacrifices and hard work. It's not saying that your goals that involve like education, travel, love, relationships, teaching, translating, being an interpreter or a writer, it's not like something is impossible. It's more about things taking time and patience and commitment and perseverance. So be ready to work hard and do not be afraid of some obstacles that are coming your way, because chances are they will make things, your relationship, your commitment, your agreements stronger. Please share how this resonates, and if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. My year ahead readings are currently discounted. You can save $20 on the in-person consultation or $40 on the recorded reading. You can also pick up a natal chart reading, a relationship reading, and I highly recommend my Exalted Mars candle because it falls in your 7th house of relationships, and it can make it easier to deal with challenges, work together, and be more strategic as a couple. If you are the shiny Leo rising, there's a new moon in your 6th house and it is ruled by Saturn in the 8th. And you are realizing with this new moon that you need to commit to something hard. The new moon in the 6th, ruled by Saturn in the 8th, could be a financial protocol to pay off a debt. It could be a step-by-step plan to help your brother get out of debt. It could be some kind of, it feels, with Saturn in the 8th as the ruler, Saturn wants to give you freedom. It wants to give you freedom from financial debts. It wants to give you freedom from maybe relationships that are toxic. It also wants you to start new partnerships that are committed and fair. It might also suggest that the partner is going through some kind of difficult time. And so the new moon in the 6th is the time when you're sitting down and you're asking, okay, what kind of steps do I need to take to get there? And the steps can be as little and as small as going to bed early so that you have more time to go to work, or maybe it's about eating healthier, maybe it's about exercising so that you feel like you have more control over your life. Or the steps could be more specific in terms of setting some money aside every month and paying off your student loans, or helping your partner somehow, right? There is a bit of slowdown, delays, maybe even your professional goals or your life feeling like you have to overcome some challenges, because there is a T-square between Saturn in the 8th, Jupiter in the 11th, and Mercury in the 5th. And so it's like feeling that your dreams are very much affected by your everyday life right now. Your dreams are affected by your strategy and your health and your well-being. So the new moon is encouraging you to take care of everything that's like foundational in your life and to make improvements to those foundations so that you can have more freedom to live your best life, right? And to have the best relationships. I'd be curious to hear how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely and intellectual and smart Virgo rising, there's a new moon in your 5th house ruled by Saturn in the 7th. The new moon in the 5th brings new beginnings in the areas of romance, creativity, self-expression, children, and parenthood. With the ruler Saturn in the 7th, you are committing to something. You may be committing to a new relationship. Saturn in the 7th could have brought a new partner, an engagement, a marriage, and so the new moon in the 5th is a natural step towards making that relationship official, getting pregnant, starting a family. You're maybe starting a business partnership because 5th house is also the place of self-expression. So working on a creative relationship, being maybe somehow more involved with children, being a teacher of children, or influencing the lives of children as a kindergarten teacher or any kind of teacher. I can see here there might be new beginnings in the life of your partner that are affecting your life. And I think you're prioritizing more pleasure, more love, more joy in your life. But there is a T-square between Saturn in the 7th, Jupiter in the 10th, and Mercury in the 4th. So it does have some kind of a need to be, I think there feels to, you know, there's some challenges that you have to deal with that maybe come from you just committed, but you need to move. So you need to figure out how to break things to your landlord, or you need to deal with some family disagreements. You are seeking joy, pleasure, and parenthood, right? And new beginnings in relationships, but things might not be as easy. I think there is a suggestion that the time is necessary, the careful steps and strategy are necessary before you sort of get to the place of peace, tranquility, and joy. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Libra risings, there's a new moon in the 4th house, and it is ruled by Saturn in the 6th. The new moon in the 4th encourages new beginnings in home, family, and living situation. You may be moving, you may be renovating and changing your home, redecorating. You may be starting a family or experiencing a change in the family. A family member moves in with you, a family member moves out, you get pregnant, something changes in the family dynamic. The ruler being Saturn in the 6th suggests that in order to find comfort and security and sort of peace, you have to work hard. You have to be ready to commit and persevere and maybe overcome some problems along the way. Saturn in the 6th might also suggest that your sense of comfort and security is connected to your work, and so you need to figure out a better work routine for yourself. They might also be connected to your health and your habits. And so even though it's a new moon in the 4th and we're thinking of home and family, 4th house is also what makes you feel at ease. And so Saturn in the 6th might suggest needing to set better boundaries around work, better protocols in your health, eating better, going to sleep earlier, looking at your phone less. There is a bit of a complicated aspect between Saturn in your 6th, Jupiter in the 9th, and Mercury in the 3rd, which is suggesting that some of your desire to grow and expand is restricted by the problems Saturn is creating. We love Saturn. Saturn, we love you. Thank you for all the lessons you're teaching us. But you do need to be patient, and you do need to be careful, especially if you're signing any contracts, negotiating any deals, because Jupiter is in its detriment, ruling Mercury, which is in its detriment, ruling Jupiter. So we're calling it a mutual deception. So the facts and the data that you're looking at might not be quite clear. Please share how this resonates, and if you're looking for more, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. My year ahead readings are currently discounted. Information is in the description, and I also highly recommend my Venus in Libra 2 or 3 candle for any Libra rising, because this is perfect for you. It captures the planet that rules you, the goddess of love and beauty. For the mysterious Scorpio rising, there's a new moon in the 3rd house ruled by Saturn in the 5th. And this feels like your life needs to change in response to the duties you have to your children, the duties you have to your creative child, your passion projects, the duties that you have to your romantic relationship or to your pleasure and your sense of joy in life, or maybe even due to your desire to kick some bad habits to the curb. So the moon in the 3rd house with the ruler Saturn in the 5th, right? Like Saturn in the 5th suggests that something is changing and you may have just become a parent, or you're thinking about becoming a parent. Maybe you are in a committed relationship. Maybe you are running a business and your life is changing and you're realizing that you need to be more structured. And so the new moon in the 3rd house is all about your schedule. It's all about better boundaries in your everyday life. It could be a sign that you need to relocate, that you need to upgrade your car, upgrade your technology in order to help you do things in a better way. Like if we're talking about creative self-expression and even being a parent, sometimes you need certain technology, certain tools that help you be the best parent. Your schedule might need to change, right? Your communication with people in your life might need to change. It's an interesting new moon because I think it's all about these tangible, logistical, flow-related things that may feel little, but in reality, they help you live your life to the best. So it's the question of like, where do you need to declutter? What do you need to speak about? What do you need to pack away? What do you need to throw out, right? What do you need to improve in your everyday life in order to have a better flow? And you're maybe navigating with some financial concerns in mind. You're maybe dealing with conflicts of values between you and your partner, or your family and your family. So there might be some challenges you're dealing with and maybe disagreements, especially as Saturn forms a T-square with Jupiter in your 8th house and Mercury in the 2nd. But if you're patient and direct and strategic and kind, you will figure it out. So think of all these tangible, practical steps you need to take to make your life more streamlined and to have better flow in your relationships. It could even be about scheduling dates if you feel like your romantic life has been a bit stagnant. For the adventurous Sagittarius rising, there's a new moon in your house of money and values ruled by Saturn in the 4th house of home and family and living situation. And I'm immediately thinking of, if there is Saturn in your 4th house of home, family, and living situation, you're maybe dealing with duties involving family. A family member is needing you to help drive them to their doctor's appointments, or you have just recently bought a home and you have mortgage that you're paying off, or there may be some sort of home renovation projects you're involved in. And so the new moon in the 2nd is asking you to be strategic with your finances. Maybe it's about coming up with a plan to gather money to help to like get your mom a taxi, so the taxi takes her to her doctor's appointments when you cannot, or that you have a better plan to pay off your mortgage. Maybe you're thinking of refinancing your mortgage, refinancing your student loans. And so the new moon can encourage you to consult a financial advisor. It can encourage you to talk to someone to refinance things, start a savings account, talk to your boss, and maybe think about improving your work situation as well, asking for a raise, asking for more responsibility, better compensation. It does feel, even though the new moon sextiles Saturn, there is a bit of a tension and sort of heavy weight of these responsibilities involving home, family, real estate, living situation, as we're dealing with the T-square between Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. But if you are willing to be strategic and thoughtful and think carefully about things and have a plan and then execute the plan step by step, I think you can figure it out. Please share how this resonates, and if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I am currently running a year ahead special. You can save $20 on the in-person consultation or $40 on the recorded one. And you can also pick up my Exalted Mars candle for financial improvement if you're struggling with finances at all, or just overall confidence and action-taking abilities. If you are a Capricorn rising, there's a new moon in your 1st house of self and identity, and the ruler is Saturn in the 3rd house. So with Saturn in the 3rd, you are working on your schedule. You're trying to figure out a better flow through your day. You're trying to be more organized. You're maybe working on committing to your skills and taking ownership of your knowledge, and maybe becoming a teacher, becoming a writer, becoming a blogger. You may also be working on your business, right? You're learning something new. You're feeling the heaviness of committing to a business and working really hard. And so the new moon in the 1st house is encouraging you to commit to your dreams and to commit to your goals, and to maybe do so by becoming more organized. It could be the time when you are getting clear about your fitness goals and your body and your health, becoming more conscious and realizing that in order to be the best yoga teacher, you first need to practice your wheel pose or something, your crow, right? There might also be a sense of new goals that require you to rethink your thoughts. Sometimes Saturn in the third house can bring a certain element of like heaviness to your mental outlook, where you're being more negative, more skeptical. Maybe you're thinking of limitations before possibilities. So the new moon in the first might encourage you to work on prioritizing positive affirmations. It might encourage you to work on starting your business or becoming a teacher or becoming a writer, right? Like your personality goals might be connected to third house matters. There might be new beginnings in your life connected to relationships with siblings, whether it means you're setting better boundaries with them or you're starting a partnership with them. Some kind of change around the life of the sibling prompts you to be more of an authority. Sorry. An authority figure, perhaps. So all about self-growth, right? But growth maybe through some kind of restrictions. And there is a need to put in the work as we get the T-square between Saturn in the third house, Jupiter in the sixth, and Mercury in the 12th. So you are very hardworking. And so this new moon also has the energy of needing to compromise, sacrifice, persevere, overcome difficulties, and be structured, organized as you have difficult conversations, as you take action towards your dreams, as you set better boundaries in your life. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. My year ahead readings are currently discounted. You can save $20 on the in-person consultation or $40 on the recorded reading. You can also pick up my 2025 planner on there or my Exalted Mars candle. This is perfect for you because it is Mars in Capricorn. Very ambitious, strategic, hardworking, knows when to take action, when to stop, when to assert themselves, when to step back. If you are the lovely Aquarius rising, there is a new moon in your 12th house ruled by Saturn in the second house. With Saturn in the second house, you have been in this long period that got started in March 2023 of figuring out your self-worth. You may have dealt with financial restrictions, you may have made big investments, you may have waited on money coming in, but ultimately there could have been a sense of maybe a lack of validation, maybe a sense of you craving some kind of approval financially or verbally from your bosses, from people in your life, and maybe that approval being limited or not coming. And ultimately, Saturn wants you to build self-worth internally and to learn to be an anchor for yourself, be sort of calm and peaceful no matter what's going on with your finances. Of course, it sucks to not have money. It's hard to enjoy life without it, right? But if you have money, but just like a limited amount, enough to enjoy life, right? You can still work on making things better, but not stress about it too much. And so the new moon in the 12th house is inviting you to examine all the ways in which you stand in your own way. And sometimes 12th house is a place of self-undoing, right? And sometimes we might be destroying ourselves by thinking certain thoughts, by blaming the world around us and seeing ourselves as victims or seeing the world as this dark place, while maybe there is an opportunity to change your attitude a little bit. The new moon in the 12th house might encourage you to invest into therapy and find a therapist. It can encourage you to commit to a spiritual practice and find peace and comfort in yoga, Buddhism, meditation. It can suggest that maybe you just need to rest and sleep better in order to feel better about your situation. And so maybe you haven't been sleeping well and haven't been taking care of your mental health. Maybe you're scrolling late at night. And so there is an opportunity to work on your self-worth by releasing unhealthy habits. There is a T-square between Saturn in the 2nd, Jupiter in the 5th, and Mercury in the 11th. And so potentially you're feeling like some of your dreams involving romance, involving pleasure, involving parenthood, even your dreams involving community are a little bit delayed by the lack of resources, by the lack of approval or confidence. And so the new moon in the 12th house is encouraging you to look within and to start by clearing your mental space, by reviewing all of those habits you have and choosing those that are more healthy and constructive. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are the beautiful Pisces rising, there's a new moon in your 11th house ruled by Saturn in the 1st. And so Saturn has been in your 1st house since March 2023. It created a sense of pressure on your life, your schedule, your work, your health. And the new moon in the 11th is suggesting that you are opening yourself up to new dreams, that you're welcoming new connections, that you're expanding your network and growing your influence somehow. And so it might be connected to the fact that Saturn in the 1st house encouraged you to be more of a leader, encourage you to be more visible, more of a person with answers and authority. And so the new moon in the 11th might be the time when you're getting some kind of recognition in your network, right? You're maybe stepping up and becoming the head of the nonprofit organization, or you're taking a more leadership role where you're guiding your colleagues and becoming sort of reaching a higher position. Your dreams might also be involving taking better care of yourself, right? The new moon in the 11th might be new plans and new hopes and new wishes that involve being healthier and more organized and more structured, right? More boundaried. There might also be new beginnings in your friendships that actually come out of that need to be responsible and prioritizing your health, because with Saturn in the 1st house, you have no choice but to take better care of yourself. So changes in your relationships and your, even it's interesting because like you might notice that you say no to going out with colleagues, and the new moon represents you choosing to not drink, for example. And that is a positive shift both in your relationships and in your identity. There is a T-square between Saturn in the 1st, Jupiter in the 4th, and Mercury in the 10th. So a little bit of tense energy between your house of identity, home, family, and career. And so your relationships could actually be a source of answers at this time. And Virgo energy, which is a little bit more analytical, critical, and routine, health-oriented, can provide some answers. So focus on bettering yourself, that's the best use of Saturn in the 1st house. Please share how this resonates and take advantage of my year ahead special to save on your 2025 reading. Information is in the description. You can also pick up a natal chart, a relationship horoscope in there, or the 2025 planner. Highly, highly recommend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you soon, probably in the next year, although who knows, maybe still in 2024, but see you soon. Bye.